Hi there. Today episode is packed with three real machine coding round problems that the service-based company loves. We are going to take simple employee list and then turn it into a powerful salary analytic tool. This is our first problem. Then we will build real task queue with concurrency control. And finally, we all code Promise.all from scratch. Exactly how it's work behind the scene. This is the episode you cannot skip. Let's just start. Let's start our today first problem, that is employee salary aggregation department wise. Okay, so what is the problem statement? So in a given array, an array of employees, group them by department. Okay, group them by department. I will show you what is the input, what is the output, one by one, and then return return what is our input. This is a pretty spread simple function. So function total salary by department. Okay, what we get here? We get here the employee as object. Employees as object. Fine. Now we need a result to hold somewhere. So we create a variable result empty object right now. Restore the department and total salary department wise. Okay, now loop through each employee for that imp of employee is a object array, so we are using of, and if it does not exist inside our result, then what we will do, imp dot department does not exist in our object, which is not initially, then we have to add it or initialize it as by 0. Suppose initially it was 0 as initial salary. Now if not, then what will just add it, result of imp dot department plus equal to dot salary. Just place the employee dot salary inside the employee dot department. Okay, department wise salary is getting added to that department, and now finally return the result. Pretty simple, right? So this is straight pretty simple example. Now call this function. So log now total, copy this one, total salary function. Now pass this example array from here. without wasting any time. Fine. Now pass this one. Oh, there is a typo. I missed this. No. So you see, we got IT level total salary and then HR level, department of HR level total salary. And in this way, we solve our first problem. The pitfall might be like using what I did right now is missing any bracket, or what we using wrong key name by department. So we were aware of what is the key, and then forgetting the initializing constructor. Forgetting the initializing accumulation. So this is first you have to do this, otherwise it will be predicted something like else. And then we're not handling empty array. So if the array is empty, so how we can handle the empty array? So you can do like this. If array dot is array employee, okay, not then throw new error, not an array. Like this. And if I pass something like, for example, this, look what will happen, not an array. So in this way you can handle the empty array case. So, and in the variation we can think about average salary per department. You can think of another, you can think of employee count per department, how many employees are in each department, and which, in the last you can think of which employee has the maximum salary, like this. So we can play with this variation. So we are done with our first example. Let's jump into our second example, second problem statement, which is about async. So let's talk about another example. Problem statement is about async. Problem 2, task queue with concurrency limit. What this means? This means here in this, what we're going to solve is create a function that execute n number of function, right? N number from function, n number of async task. Okay, function means async task, but only k number of tasks can be run at a time. So we have to limiting the task to run at a time, creating a rate limiter. Example, talk example. If 5 task is running, and if you pass concurrent limit to 2, concurrency limit to 2, then only 2 tasks run in parallel. Okay, only here if I defining 2, then only 2 tasks run in parallel. Next task start after previous one finish. Okay, just pause it and try to solve by yourself. Now come here, we define our async function. Async function run with limit, get the task first, task and then the limit. Now array to store currently running task. Okay, the promises running. This will hold the currently running task. Now we run a loop to run the task. What let task of tasks start the task first. Okay, const p equal to, there is a promise inside. Task means promise. There is promise. We start the promise now and holding the constant p. Now we push the task to the running list. As a we have to limit push according to the limit. Okay, so running dot push and we push the task to the running list. Now we will check if running task is exceeding the limit or not. If running dot length greater than or equal to limit, then what we'll do, if the running task is greater than the limit, we have to wait until this running task get completed. Await Promise.race running whichever we got first settled in the race. We get the first settled one. Whichever we get first settled, we have to wait for that promise to get resolved, get settled. And if it gets settled, then remove all the completed ones from the running. We have just removed what will completed, just removed from the task. So remove, how will you do this? By running the splice from 0 index to running dot length and running So here we are just filtering out the promise. We are still in pending state, and we are removed all the running state, all the settled state from this running array. And now finally return this promise. Now time to run this function. Okay, so what we are doing is just come one by one. This is run with limit. It run the promise with limit. So we array of running with hold the promises and in the track. Then we start the loop. Let's grab the first promise, hold this inside the p. Okay, and we push this promise to run this promise and push this inside the array. And we are just checking if the length greater than limits. If it is less than limit, for example 1 2 get pushed inside. If once it's got third promise from here, from the loop, if it's got the third promise, but we need to run two promise in concurrency. Okay, and third promise will run after the promise get execution get finished. So when you come inside, when for the third time, what this will do, this will wait for this promise array. Okay, any of them get settled or not. If any of one gets settled in the race condition, this will come here, and this is pull out all the success, all the settled promises from here, and then grabbing the length. What is the total length of pulling out the particular which are in pending state? They will filtered out, and now in this way you go again here, and finally this get returned, the promise.all. Now here we do what we do, function return solve. Task. Now get our task. Returning all into the promise. This is doing nothing but making a simple input and convert this into a promise and then returning a new promise. Let's get a bunch of new promise. Some random timer. And now call out function. Okay, call out return with limit. Pass the promise array and then of 2. Sorry. Now let's jump to our third problem statement, which is Promise.all Polyfill for today. If any of the promise failed, reject immediately. If any of the promise failed, polyfill. Not my function. Assign a function. Let's get a promises. Then this will return new promise. Promise. Solve. Checked. Okay. We return a new promise. Now array to store result in order. Okay. So we need an array to store in sequence. For this we take an array or results same name. Now you have to also check how many promises are completed successfully. So for this we hold one flag kind of. For example, suppose it's completed initially is completed 0. Now loop through each promise to execute. increment the counter. Completed equal to means all promises get resolved or settled. Not settled here. Resolved. You resolve the result. Now time for catch. If something break, we got an error, and then finally we can reject with that error, and we are done. Now let's run this function. Suppose you create 3 promise 1 which is resolving, then promise 2 which is 20. Simple. And by the way, we are just looping through each and just wrapping and making it a promise dot resolved. So anyhow it's become a promise. And now P3 new says we promise it will get resolved by some particular time. So timeout. Resolve all the 30 by after 500 milliseconds. We got our third. Now let's call our custom promise. Then and you can see we resolve all 3 promises. This one, and then finally this one. For the confusion, make it to 20. Now we can see 10, 20 and 30. And in this way, so the common catch point is we have to must preserve the orders. That's why we are holding the result in an array so that it maintaining the sequence. Must stop one first rejection. If any of the we get a rejection, we must stop this promise. We must stop the loop after first rejection. Okay, so anything get rejected, we just must stop this loop. Now and third, must wrap each in the promise.resolve. So for example, passing this as a number, this is not a promise, so we have to make it as a promise as well. So make it in, to make this we must wrap this in a resolve, so this become a promise. Now the variation we can try of like my all settled, you can try also in my race or my any. Okay, this is all for episode 6. So hope you like this problem for today. These are the real questions asked by the real company in their real interview. So don't skip it. Don't skip this problem statement. Try to play with this your own. And if you like this video, just a thumbs up, comment and subscribe so that you can get more and more like this, the real problem. See you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.